All right, y'all, we have some wedding drama. This crazy divisive story is brought to us by Giovanna, an RN, as well as a creator on TikTok who has not spoken to her maid of honor since August 2025, as of today. So yes, that's 6 good months, no contact. So what exactly takes someone from maid of honor to no contact list? Let's get into it.
I have not spoken to my maid of honor since my wedding day of August 2025. And let me explain, because this is a crazy story, okay? It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah, first of all, Giovanna had 2 maids of honor. One that was a childhood friend that she grew up with. They remain in contact, but she's not in the state. And then another friend that became very close that lives in her state that she seems to see more frequently. So her and her husband both decide to have 2 best men and 2 maids of honor. Now, can you guess, take a wild guess, take a ganda at which maid of honor was the drama? Number 2. If you said number 2, it's number 2. And so I'm wondering, well, if this is a friend that you see all the time, I mean, it begs the question, were there any sorts of signs? Did you get any vibes from this friend or this friendship before the wedding came along? I'm not 100% sure, but she does tell us some signs that she saw during the wedding process. So let's rewind, okay, to the Bachelorette weekend that was planned.
We give you glory, honor, and adoration. Omnipotent, omnipresent Father, we thank you for our sister as she's starting the journey. Father, Lord, we invite you. We ask that you take hold of her household.
I'm gonna call the maid of honor that ended up having all the drama maid, and I'm going to call the childhood best friend child maid, just for the sake of this story so that it's easier to flow. So yes, so the bride Giovanna wanted her bachelorette party to be in Jersey. 1, because New York is super expensive, and 2, she was really cost conscious. This was a cost conscious wedding, and that is important to know. So she wants a pool party weekend sort of bachelorette party. She wants to cut costs, so she's looking at an Airbnb. Also, an Airbnb gives you more control, meaning you can have alcohol, you can hang in super late, and unlike hotels, you're not gonna have anyone telling you, hey, the pool is closed. So drama maid and childhood maid combine forces, and they are trying to find the best Airbnb to fit Giovanna's needs. Unfortunately, the Airbnb that they were able to find with a pool was not going to be able to house all the people that Giovanna originally wanted and invited and told about this weekend. So, unfortunately, some of Giovanna's newer, larger friend group was uninvited just from the pool party. And Giovanna felt that this would be fine because the pool party Airbnb situation was more Saturday, and then she also planned on Sunday to have a dinner. And so she said those people that would not be able to fit and come to the Airbnb can join in the festivities on Sunday at the dinner. But nope.
So they were in their feelings, and they decided not to come at all. They didn't come to the events on Sunday. Nothing like that. And when I asked her what's up, she was like, oh, you know how girls are. They feel like, you know, essentially that I switched up. And I think she didn't fight for me because she knew that wasn't the case.
I'm curious, if that was you, would you boycott and not go to any of the Bachelorette if you weren't able or uninvited to the pool party? Let me know. Anyway, back to the story. In hindsight, as Giovanna's telling this story, she now believes that the drama and the hurt feelings from those uninvited came because drama maid did not properly advocate for her or explain the situation that she was in, with the Airbnb being the best option cost-wise, and then the size of the Airbnb. So it wasn't anything personal, it was just about fitting everyone on that space. That, of course, was in hindsight, but at the time, everything continues forward. Drama maid was also in charge at that Bachelorette weekend of cooking the food for the Airbnb house portion. But last minute, drama maid calls up the bride and says, I'm not feeling too well, so instead of cooking, I'm going to cater. And this is where red flag, according to the bride telling the story, number 1 really pokes through for her. Because according to her, drama maid decided to cater this food from ShopRite.
Come to find out, she had decided to do catering from ShopRite, which if you're not from Jersey, is like maybe a Wegmans or let's say like Walmart catering. Now, if I'm the maid of honor, I'm not going to choose grocery store catering to an event, but that's just me. I'm like, maybe it's just a budgeting issue. My friends told me the food wasn't good, but that's my friend. I'm going to support her, so I'm just eating. Oh yeah, girl, this food good. So the food wasn't good. The other thing, she left twice during the Bachelorette. Maid of honor. Left twice.
So the reason that she gives for leaving that first time on Saturday was that Drama Maid had a funeral of someone that passed, or repassed rather, that she wanted to attend. She then came back to join for the daytime festivities on Sunday, but according to Giovanna the bride, she had bad energy, okay. And then she ends up leaving again that day, so on Sunday now, because she said that she had a doctor's appointment. Now Giovanna the bride noticed, but she said, I'm gonna let it slide, maybe it's me. Now let's talk dresses, okay? Because this is the part that I found a bit interesting, so I want to know your thoughts as well. So the bride decided, as I said, very budget wedding, decided to go with an online vendor that sold dresses. And these dresses you can order online to a Staples near you so that you could try on the different sizes, and then once you know your size, then you can order your actual dress.
So JJ's house has a thing where you can try on different dresses and to make sure you have your right size. So she comes to me and asks me if I can help her with picking the right size for a dress for her maid of honor dress. All right, great, cool. She tells me that she doesn't know how to work the website, and if I can order the dress from her for her to try on, she'll come to my house, try on the dress, and then I would have to return the dress. It sounds like she's giving me work to do, but okay. I do it the first time. I get the dress, we try it on. Let's try on some other things. So now she wants to try on some different dresses. She asked me if I can do it again, a second time. All right, fine. I already know the process. Get the dress. She comes, try it on. I package the dress, take it back to Staples. Now I've done this a second time now. I'm kind of tired. I'm trying to focus on other things, and this is just becoming a bit of an annoyance because no one else has asked me for help with their dresses. Everyone else is able to order their dress, try it on, they send me pictures, and then they get the dress that they need. So I'm not understanding why she's the only one who's having problems working the website. So we get the dress, she tries it on, cool. We get the dress that she likes, and she's like, okay, can you just order the dress for me? I'm like, no.
And Giovanna flat out says, "Nor, nor, nor, nor." She says, absolutely not. Okay, I have other things that I need to focus on. So that again was another bump in the road for Giovanna, but she lets that one go, and they say, let's get on to the wedding. So the wedding. So child maid is apparently a very type A personality, a very let's go, I'll take charge, we'll get it done type of girl. So child maid is setting up group chats, reaching out to people, all the things, right? So drama maid, second maid of honor, starts feeling some type of way. She feels like she's not being needed or being utilized. And so Giovanna decides to give her some responsibility.
I asked my fake maid of honor to send a group text message. It was very important. It had information, I guess, to do with the schedule for the wedding day. I text her, I was like, hey, can you just text this to the group? Because they're in a separate group chat that I'm not a part of from the Bachelorette. She's like, okay, cool. She never sends it, okay? She never sends it. So now we're at the week of the wedding. My true maid of honor came like basically a week early to help prep for the wedding. She came to help me with decorating because she knew I was doing a DIY wedding, and so she called off work to be here from Texas to New Jersey to be here. So I asked her, I was like, hey girl, can you just send this message? She sends it right away, no issue. So at this point I'm like, why is my fake maid of honor acting so weird? Like she don't really want no parts to be in it. It's just very weird behavior.
Yep, it was never sent. Okay, now let's get to photo shoots. Photo shoots have now entered the chat. Drama maid, or fake maid of honor as Giovanna's calling her in her story, says, hey, I know you're doing this photo shoot. How much is the permit that you need? She finds out that it's $500, and she says, don't worry, I got you. This is how I'm gonna give to you. I'm gonna pay that $500 for the permit that you need to be able to shoot in that location. Now that photo shoot day comes and goes, no money, no payment. Hello, hello.
She never sends the $500 for the wedding permit. for the location. Never sends it. She's like, oh, leading up to the wedding. Oh, Giovanni, I'm gonna send it. What's your Zelle? What's your Zelle? Girl, we've gone to restaurants. We've sent each other money back and forth plenty of times. We know how Zelle works. Why are you asking? Why are you being weird? Like, she's just actually being weird. Oh, she tried to set me up because she said she was going to pay for the photo shoot for the wedding, and she never sent the money. Luckily, I already took care of it. I never depended on her, but it was noted in my mind.
Next thing, child maid and drama maid are planning to meet up because, you know, they have to do that whole choreography. As you know, people dance down the aisles these days. It's a big thing. So they decide we're going to meet up so that we could plan some sort of dance since we're entering together as two maids of honor. The wedding is on Labor Day weekend, and so both child maid and drama maid, they agree that they are going to do Friday. That Friday before the weekend. Friday comes and you bet your bottom dollar. You bet your bottom dollar. You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say. Drama maid has some sort of conflict that she forgot about. She says that she has a film school orientation that evening and it's very important to her. But Giovanna, she said, oh, I'm a detective. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna corroborate that story, okay?
My real maid of honor, she's not trying to make any drama out of it. She's like, yeah, it's just, if she knew that there was an orientation, why didn't we meet earlier? Like, orientations don't just spring up. I'm like, girl, this don't sound right. Like, it's Memorial weekend, or sorry, it's Labor Day weekend in New York. What school you know has an orientation on Friday at 6 p.m. on a holiday weekend? So I ended up looking it up because a lot of programs in America will have their events publicized. Like, if you're in a program, it's public knowledge. So I ended up going to their website, looking it up, and I saw that there was no orientation on that Friday. It was like some kind of grading program or whatever. And then the actual program, I guess she was trying to get into, the orientation wasn't until September 15th. And my wedding was in August. So she's lying. She's just not wanting to be part of the wedding, and the energy is just fell. It's just really weird. So at this point, I'm not feeling her right now.
Not her lying, allegedly being a fibber. Come on now. Crazy work. Anyway, the wedding weekend comes. It's Labor Day weekend, and as I said, it is important, as you've seen throughout this story, to understand that this is a very much so DIY, a very much so budget wedding. So all hands are on deck to set up, to put up the garlands, to put up these flowers, and drama maid has one excuse after the other as to why she cannot be in attendance to help. But anyway, now it's the actual time for the wedding, and this is where the real drama, if all of this wasn't dramatic enough already, this is where the real drama begins. The real drama actually started the night before in the bride's not so major organs, okay?
So the night before my wedding, I had an appendicitis. Yes, so the day before my wedding, I was in severe, unbelievable pain, went to the urgent care. Urgent care told me go to the hospital. Went to the hospital. They were like, you have an appendicitis. And I was like, but I also have a wedding. So it wasn't ruptured. So they told me they think that they can be able to take my appendix out and I can go to my wedding the next day. I told them that's exactly what's going to happen. Money has been spent. Okay, so I had my procedure. It was like late at night. And I was discharged 5 a.m. from the hospital. I told my nurse, rain or shine, I have makeup at 7. Okay, so I was discharged. I'm running on adrenaline, Tylenol, and love. Okay, so yeah, it was a crazy time for me, but I made it to my makeup on time.
Now, y'all know I'm a Jesus baby. Okay, your appendix, your appendectomies. Okay, trying to escape your body the night before your wedding. Now, either that was the Holy Spirit or her village people are walking over time. Her village people were winning that day. I don't know. Anyway, she makes it to the church for hair and makeup as the bride, and child maid and drama maid were both scheduled to be there early for their own hair and makeup as well. And to help set up, of course, child maid was there on time. Drama maid ends up strolling in very late. At that point, all the bridesmaids are already there. She ends up strolling in very late with her boyfriend. And so the bride confronts her flat out.
In with her boyfriend. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm running late. I had this is a, you would not believe, I'm so sorry, I'll explain it to you later. And I'm just like, girl, I'm just coming from the hospital and I made it on time. Why are you running late? And I think she was taken aback that I talked to her or approached her in front of everybody, but you were coming late into the kitchen and we were already talking about you, so let's just air it out right here. And so I think she was offended, embarrassed, whatever the case may be.
So drama maid gets on the phone as she's getting her makeup done and is complaining to her boyfriend, talking about how she will never talk to Giovanna again and this is the last time and she can't believe Hold on. It's not as dramatic as I'm making it seem. It seems that drama maid was my African sister. She's my African sister, so she was actually speaking in her native tongue, but as you do, she was mixing in some English words, and so Giovanna kind of could put two and two together and say, oh, she's talking about me. Oh, cool. Anyway, the day continues and drama maid insists that, hey, what happened earlier, so sorry, I want to hold up your dress. I'll hold up the train of your dress as you're moving to and fro.
She decides that she wants to hold my dress for the whole day. She wants to be present. She wants to be noticed, blah, blah, blah. So I let her hold my train, and that's the arrangement. My other maid of honor, she's just chilling out. She's my true maid of honor. She's chilling out. She's cool. So my fake maid of honor and I are leaving from the church into the bus, and there's gravel. She accidentally drops my dress on the gravel. Something happened, and maybe it was a true accident. She accidentally dropped my dress. But the way I turned back at her, and I was very upset because at this point, I don't trust her. I don't trust her motives. The fact that she said this is the last day she's going to be dealing with me, I don't trust her. So yeah, I was treating her with some attitude because the disrespect she gave me earlier. So my mom ends up telling me, Giovanna, you know, it was a true accident, blah, blah, blah. You know, you shouldn't be so hard on her. But I'm just like, side-eyeing her.
Y'all think that was on purpose? I don't know. So now they get to the location of the photo shoot, and drama maid confronts or just wants to speak to Giovanna, the bride, and say, hey, I feel like you are treating me very different from everyone else. I'm sensing some kind of, there's some energy. There's some energy in that area that I just want to, you know. And the bride basically admits, yeah, I'm treating you differently. Yeah, you feel that correctly. That's what's happening.
We're heading from the photo shoot to the church. At this point, none of my bridesmaids are really interacting with her. We're kind of all just tolerating her at this point. She's obviously trying to help keep the energy and vibes good. Like, she's not being too weird. She's trying to be herself, but it's just coming off as incredibly fake and disingenuous. So she calls me Bridezilla on the bus. I'm not sure why. I think it came out of nowhere. But my male friend, who's part of my bridal party, he's like, actually, no, she's not. Like, she's doing really well. My other bridesmaid is like, yeah, considering that she just had surgery, like, Giovanna, you're doing great. And so at this point, it just registers to me like there is a level of jealousy going on. Because how are you, a maid of honor, telling me that I'm a bridezilla? And if I am, it's my wedding day and I just had an appendicitis.
Lord, jealousy. Jealousy has now entered the chat. Jealousy. It was only a matter of time before jealousy entered the chat. Now, I will say this. I have never been a bride. I have never planned a wedding. Okay? But there are many things you can be jealous of. Like, I don't know, an all expense paid brand trip. Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Hair with no split ends or fairy knots. Natural hair at that. Give me that. I want some of that. Yeah. Someone finding the last great parking spot. All of this, I hear it. Okay. But as someone that has witnessed people very close up planning a wedding, I'm so sorry. Especially if you're not trying to spend a lot. You're not rich. I really apologize. It's actually a lot of work. It is a lot of work, my dear. Okay. Wedding planning and the marriage, actually. Anyway. we'll leave that. We'll cut to the reception where Drama Maid's sister ends up showing up. Now, this sister was not at the Bachelorette celebration on Sunday, nor was she even at the actual wedding ceremony. She just showed up to the reception where her and her sister, they ate, they drank, and they were married. Okay? And then they promptly Irish exited, no goodbyes, they just left. Now, a few weeks go past after the wedding, everything is cooled down, and Giovanna, who hasn't spoken to Drama Maid since then, decides, you know what, I'm gonna give her a call. And I'm wondering why.
I spoke to people in my party like, hey, should I try and, you know, pursue mending this friendship? They're like, nah, I think you're good. But she was a true friend to me. I don't think she was a bad person. I think she was in a bad situation, and that came out in her character, and it sucked. You know, so I called her to think, okay, maybe we can try to mend this. Because the day of my wedding, I actually told her, I was like, I know you're upset and mad at me, but it's okay. Like, that's fine. You can be mad at me, but if we're going to be friends, like, we have to work through this, whatever. She chose not to work through it. She never called me back weeks after the wedding. I guess she never took the advice I said about being mad and that being okay. And I saw that she unfollowed me on Instagram. I'm like, girl, we are not celebrities. Like, if you're going to close the bridge, let me burn it for you. So I blocked her. I blocked her sister, the friends who never showed up to Bachelorette. Like, we are good on that. And I just realized that this time the friendship wasn't worth mending.
I will say this. I did not know that you can remove people from your wedding pictures, but apparently you can, because Giovanna did. She promptly removed that Maid of Honor or Drama Maid out from all the wedding photos. And that's essentially it. That's where the actual story ends. However, this did go viral on TikTok, and the reactions were interesting. Quite a few people were actually in the comments siding with Drama Maid, mainly because of the funeral. They were saying that she should have been given some grace, that she was probably grieving. So Giovanna comes back to respond to that and talk about who actually passed away in Drama Maid's family and why she really believes that Drama Maid was upset.
I didn't tell you guys this because I thought it was irrelevant, but I just want to mention this because I think you guys were saying, why wasn't I picking up on the fact that she lost someone and she was grieving? She did lose someone. The person who had passed was a friend of a parent. So in the African culture, she refers to elders as auntie and uncle. So she wanted to pay respect to her auntie and uncle. But there was no bloodline connection. When she told us this, she was very relaxed about it. And so I didn't pick up on any possible grieving then or when she came back on Sunday the next day. With that being said, I think the vibes and energy was off for her because the friend group that didn't come to the Bachelorette, because I didn't do what they wanted, which was basically have the hotel pool party. I wanted to have the Airbnb. That included her sister. So when that friend group decided they weren't going to come to anything at all for the weekend, her sister wasn't included. And so I definitely think there was some energy shift involved in that. So yeah, I get it. It's a funeral. She definitely had to go. Totally understand. It's how she went about it. She could have told me at any time prior when she was telling my bridesmaid. That's when she could have told me. She could have told me before we got into the pool. She waited until right before she had to go get ready to leave that she was leaving. And I think going about it that way is why it was a shock. So yeah, I get it. And again, guys, there were other points of communication drop-offs that led up to the part 3 that you saw for those who watched.
So that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts. As far as for me, honestly, I understand both points of views. However, I'm leaning and siding more with the bride. Shoot me. That's just my thoughts. That's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. Ooh. I don't care if it's a DIY wedding or a budget wedding, which means that you're asking your bridesmaids and your maids of honor to do more. Sure. But if you agree to it, then you're agreeing to help do more. Okay? And you can still advocate for yourself like a grown woman. One, if you don't want to be a part of this wedding, you can say, hey, thank you, but I'm gonna have to decline. I'm not equal to the task. Cool. Or even if you do say yes, if there are certain things that you're not able to do or you don't want to do, then you can also say that like a grown woman. So if there's heavy lifting, you can say, hey, I'm signing up, I'm doing this, but when it comes to the heavy lifting of things, that's not me. I don't want to break a nail type of girl. as you know, as my friend. Cool. But I can help you put some bows up. I can help you do a cute little flower arrangement. I can help you with cooking because I love cooking. It's not slavery. It's not 12 years a slave, okay? No, this is not slavery. Everyone can advocate for the things they're comfortable doing or not doing, but just say that. Don't just not show up. Don't just say, yeah, sure, I can do it, and then back out at the last possible minute or find some kind of excuse. I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't like that. And like I said, this isn't slavery, so that goes for the bride as well. Any bride that believes because they're getting married that the whole world must stop for them, or that all those that are helping them are beneath them. And I said help on purpose because let's be clear, this is volunteer work. I volunteer a lot. That's volunteering, okay? It's volunteering. So if they believe that their volunteers are beneath them, they're nuts. Nuts, okay? But once you agree to lend a helping hand, be of good cheer, my dear. Like the Bible says, be a cheerful giver. Because if you're going to be grumbling and mumbling as you're giving your help, please take it. Take it. We don't want again. I don't want again, okay? I'm not interested. As far as a funeral, I do not believe that the death of her parents' friends was in any way, shape, or form devastating to her, because if so, she could have said, hey, there was a death in the family that's very close to me. I'm not going to be able to do this anymore. And I think most people would understand. That's it. I like to introduce myself in the end. So my name is JC. Hi. If you are new here, welcome. Welcome on in. If you're returning, thank you so much. And as I always like to say, thank you all of y'all for your viewership, because you don't have to be here. And I do appreciate it. So yeah, that is it. This video is going to be sponsored by me. I do have a hair growth oil. So if you're looking for, you know, now this is not my hair. This is crocheted. And I cut it into a bob recently, okay? Probably saw the debacle on my shorts. It was a lot. It's giving Lord Farquaad for a minute there. We were, anyway, touch and go. But anyway, but my hair underneath is thriving. And so I do sell a hair growth oil. If you're interested in that, do check the link in the description box. And again, thank you all so much for watching. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.